Hello, beautiful collectives out there. Welcome to my channel, Astro Cheryl. And this is your monthly forecast for November 2025. Okay, we're already at the end of the year, but we're still in Scorpio season, and there's a lot of Scorpio energy out there. So there's a lot of reveal. You know, Scorpio is mysterious, but the revealing of the false truths are coming out in the open. So just be aware that, you know, the untruths, the lies, the underhanded hate is showing up. And that way, that energy can be dealt with. We have a full moon that's coming up on the 5th, and it's a super full moon, and it's in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is about agriculture and about finances. But here in the U.S., we can see the breakdown of our governmental system and the those people who are in need of extra help for food and subsidy. So that is opening up and crumbling out into the open. But then on a personal note, those who are those people who have been deceitful, deceiving, and out to hide their feelings towards another person is coming out in the open. Okay, and that energy that's coming out has to be dealt with. Okay, so that's the purpose of it being shown. That's why the veil is thin now, so that each individual can see what it is that you're doing and what it is that has been done to you. Now, those people who have been done to, you'll get to see how this karmic energy plays out, because all of that negative energy that has been thrown at you by, you know, people you don't know, is being returned to sender. Okay, and it's once it's returned to its sender, it has to be dealt with. Okay, so anyway, as I said before, this is your monthly reading for November. Now, as we get into the month, we have Mars entering Sagittarius on the 4th. And we have that super full moon on the 5th. And Venus moves into Scorpio on the 6th. Uranus is retrograding back to Taurus at that 29 degrees on the 7th. And Mercury turns retrograde in Sagittarius on the 9th. Jupiter turns retrograde in Cancer on the 11th. Mercury turns retrograde, I just said that. The new moon in Scorpio is at 28 degrees, and that's on the 19th. And Saturn in Pisces is stationing direct on the 27th, and then Mercury turns direct on the 29th. So with all of the retrogrades that are happening now, this is turning you inward to look at those areas in your life that needs to be refurbished or cleansed, I will say. Okay, Now, a lot of you may not be ready to face your fears because that's exactly what's happening in this Scorpio energy. It's a lot of fear-based energy that is showing up. But when you face your fears and you deal with what it is that's coming up for you, then over time, you'll be able to take a step up in your vibration. So, with all of this energy happening, especially with Uranus, it is like an electric energy where things happen all of a sudden. But while it's in retrograde, it won't act as fast as it would normally act if it was in its forward motion. So I just want to say that those people who are out there who are trying to hurt, cause pain, trauma to another person, all of that is coming back to you. And a lot of times people cannot take what they dish out. They can't handle it. So are you ready to handle what you are dishing out? That is up to you. And now it's time for me to get into the forecast for the month. So I will see you on the other side. Hello to my beautiful collectives out there. Welcome to my channel, Astro. And this is your monthly forecast for Libra rising. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, on the 3rd of November, we have a beautiful trine between Mars in Scorpio and retrograde Neptune in Pisces. And this is happening in your 1st house and your 5th house. Your 1st house is about self, how you perceive yourself, how you look, how you dress, and how you act. And this is what others see, okay? So, your 5th house is about your joy, your creativity, your inner child, children as well, your romantic pursuits, your hobbies, and I did say creativity. Okay. So this beautiful trine that we have here is your pursuit of security is heightened for security and financial gains. And this is part of 1st house energy. Imaginative healing or compassionate work. You may want to improve your worth, finances, or material matters as well. So, where am I? Okay, yeah, I am here. So now on the 4th, let's look at Mars entering Sagittarius. And this is happening in your 2nd house. Now, your 2nd house is your house of self-worth, your value system, your money, your possessions, and your finances with your shared finances. Okay. So you may feel restless in your pursuit of material comfort, taking risks, or initiating new ventures. Because Mars in Sagittarius Sagittarius is a risk taker, and Mars has a tendency to act before thinking things through. So your actions are motivated by your ideals and a desire for freedom. This is Sagittarius. And the way you manage money can be both adventurous and an expression of your personal values. Okay. And on that same day, we have Mars in Sagittarius opposing retrograde Uranus in Gemini. And this is happening in your third house and your ninth house. Now, oppositions are meant for us to, it creates this push and pull energy. But the ultimate goal is for us to grow from and become wiser about how we experience ourselves in certain areas of our lives, okay? And your third house is your house of communication, early learning, your siblings, your neighborhood, and your old friends. And your ninth house is about higher learning, your belief systems, your spirituality, long distance travel, other cultures. Your religion fits in here as well. Teaching and publishing is also here in the ninth house. So this is between Mars and Uranus shakes things up. Things happen suddenly, and that changes everything. Okay? So it forms a tension between your local immediate communication and broader philosophy or global perspectives, and local versus broader perspectives here. And it causes sudden disagreements or clashes over your belief systems and your ideas. So expect energetic debates or arguments involving ideas, education, travel plans, or belief systems, with the risk of sudden upsets or surprising revelations. So this could happen for you, in your local arena, with your neighbors, your siblings, where you may, want to have a conversation about these kinds of things. And it could also happen in areas where if you're going to college, or, in those, or if you're in a teaching situation, or even publishing, writing a book, some of that energy may, come up there for you, where you have to question things and, communicate those questions outward. Okay, so on the 5th, we have a full moon in the sign of Taurus, which is a fixed sign. And fixed just means it doesn't like to change. It's fine the way it is, but that's not always the case for us, because change is growth. So, and this is happening in your 8th house of transformation, death and regeneration, psychology or psychological issues, shared resources, and finances, other people's money, debts, banking situations, and also the occult. Don't want to forget that, because the 8th house, that's the natural house for Scorpio. And so there is that depth and that psychic potential there. So this period may involve dealing with joint finances, matters, or emotional power dynamics. And Scorpio represents control. So this 8th house has that control energy there. It encourages deep introspection, full moon, and transformation. in relationships, this transit fosters deep emotional and physical, wow, closeness, emotional and physical closeness, urging emotional transparency and trust. Okay? So let go of things that are no longer working for you, those old patterns, your old belief systems around relationships, and what you believe to be true. Okay? Because a lot of times what your partner believes may not be what you believe, so there is a meeting of the minds here where, you know, the more you know, the more you grow. It's kind of funny, but it's true. Okay, so on the 6th, we have Jupiter in Cancer forming this beautiful trine with retrograde Saturn in Pisces. Okay, so Jupiter, it's expansive wherever it lands, it expands things. And it's in the house of nurturing Cancer, and Cancer wants to be the nurturer. It also, wants security, wants to feel safe in a very private way. And the retrograde Saturn is about limitations. Okay, Saturn wants things done in a grounded way, one step at a time, till you go through the process, and it sets boundaries. Whereas Pisces is boundless, and it tends to want to heal and put its energy out there too far, and sometimes it doesn't know the difference. This is Pisces energy, doesn't know the difference between itself and another. Okay, so that's why creating the boundaries keeps your energy close, Libra rising. Because, a lot of times when this energy comes in and we have this work, sometimes we have to be aware of how far we are going with it. So this is happening in your 10th house of public reputation and career. This is Jupiter in Cancer there. And then we have the 6th house of health, your daily routine, your workplace, your being of service, your co-workers as well. So this transit may manifest as an opportunity to grow professionally while maintaining a sustainable, grounded routine. That's the Saturn energy, bringing emotional fulfillment. Both of these signs are water signs, so emotions are involved from your vocation and your practical approach to receiving your long-term goals. Okay, so this is, 6th and 10th house energy. They both represent, work energies, and again, the expansiveness of Jupiter and the groundedness of Saturn makes this trine easily to navigate. Okay, so then on that same day, we have Venus in Scorpio, and this is a square, which is tension, which is meant for growth. Okay, so this is a growth period, and the how these transits work is that depending on you and your chart, if the degrees are close to the degrees in the aspect, that's how it determines whether or not you are going to feel this or you are not going to feel it. Okay? So that's why it's really good to get your chart done, so that you will know, exactly how these transits will hit when they show up, every month. And some of these transits, they linger for several months, sometimes the whole year. Okay? So, and I said Venus in Scorpio squaring Jupiter in Cancer in your second house of money and your self-worth and your value system and your 10th house of your public reputation and your career. So this suggests your personal material values and professional ambitious expansion. Your desires may be inflated, so that could be some of Jupiter's energy here because it expands things. Or you may create conflicts between what you emotionally value and the opportunities of growth in your career. So just know that there is, this tension where you have to look at this and check in with yourself. Okay? So on the 7th, we have Uranus in retrograde back into the sign of Taurus. And this is happening in your 8th house of transformation, right? It may cause unexpected shifts because this is Uranus and it creates those unexpected situations. It could expect disruptions and a redefinition of what you value materially and emotionally. Okay? So just know that the 8th house is opposing the second house, which is about, your values and your material possessions as well. So you are encouraged to take inward reflection and take an assessment of how you handle power. Power is and control is also a part of the 8th house. Money, okay? Because shared resources, other people's money, and intimacy. To recognize your hidden fears or patterns that need freeing. Okay, and this is something that will erupt and you will have to take notice. All right, so on the 9th, we have Mercury retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius, and this is happening in your 3rd house. So your 3rd house of communication, right? Early learning, your siblings, and your local community. So this is a time to reflect on the accuracy and scope of your beliefs and opinions. Because this is Sagittarius, high-minded energy. So review your communication style. That is your 3rd house energy. And avoid misunderstandings with your siblings, your neighbors, or close contacts. Be flexible with your local travel plans or routine or your daily routines, okay? Now 1111, there's something spiritual about this number, but Jupiter is turning retrograde in the sign of Cancer, and this is happening in your 10th house, okay? So your 10th house of public reputation and your career. This may cause delays, confusion, or setbacks in your professional advancement or public image, okay? You may feel stuck or unclear about your career directions, and conflict may occur with authority figures, or challenges in choosing the right professional path may also occur. Okay, so this is something that has to be corrected, for your higher good. Finding out where you really need to be in your career so that you can serve your life's purpose is where this is going. Okay? So on the 19th, we have the new moon in Scorpio, and this is happening in your second house. Now, before I get into it, I just want to let you know that there is quite a few retrogrades happening. Mercury is retrograde, Jupiter is retrograde, Saturn is retrograde, Neptune is retrograde, and let's see, what else is turning retrograde? Uranus is retrograde. Okay, and for the majority of the retrogrades, they're in water signs. Okay, so this is the emotional energy. Now, the second house is about your, your finances, your self-worth, your values, and your possessions. And this new moon is sitting there in the sign of Scorpio, which is an intense, controlling, deep seeking truth energy. Okay? So setting new intentions to improve your financial security here, and cultivate new income opportunities, and develop a healthier relationship with your money and your self-worth. Okay, so this is what this new moon intention should be about for you, because it's happening in your house of money. Okay, you may experience subconscious fears. It's part of the Scorpio experience, or emotional patterns tied to your safety. That's the moon energy, and control, Scorpio, through material means. Okay, so just set your intentions on, the things that you know that is worth, that you value more than your material things. Okay, so on the 22nd, we have the sun entering Sagittarius, and this is happening in your third house. And your mental faculties are heightened because the sun is there, making it an excellent time for expressing yourself clearly and engaging in intellectual or creative pursuits. You may feel a strong urge to connect with your siblings, because it is in the third house, your neighbors or friends. You may be inspired to take on new studies, travel short distances, because this third house is also about short distance travel, or embark on a learning journey that stimulates your curiosity. Okay, so this is optimistic energy here. So on the 27th, we have Saturn stationing direct in the sign of Pisces, and it's happening in your house of, your sixth house of, daily routine, your health, your work, being of service, and we spoke about that. This transit is challenging you to develop a practical and realistic approach to your health, work, and responsibilities. You may experience a time of hard work and increased accountability in your daily tasks, and that's part of the Saturn experience, okay? You may have a disciplined approach to fitness and health. Set your boundaries that will help you from overextending yourself or absorbing others' burdens. And that's that Pisces energy that overextends and absorbs others' burdens. And Saturn is here to help you set your boundaries so that you don't have to go that far. Okay? So on the 29th, we have Mercury stationing direct in the sign of Scorpio. Okay? You may have a heightened, and this is happening in the second house, you may have a heightened ability to communicate clearly and powerfully about your financial and personal values. You have opportunities to uncover hidden financial matters. This is Scorpio, investigated, uncovering hidden things, okay? Or secrets. That's Scorpio too, keeping secrets. related to your possessions. Or you may be compelled to protect your resources carefully or even keep certain financial details private. That's Scorpio with that private energy as well. Okay, so good luck to you, Libra rising. And until next time, bye for now. Did it not? Nope.